What's up everybody, Dan here from the Headwaters Kayak Shop. I'm hanging out down at the Headwaters Boathouse at Lodi Lake today, and I'm gonna review a brand new kayak that a lot of you guys have been asking about. Is it any good? Is it too good to be true? We're gonna find out. So we've heard lots of buzz about this boat because of its price point and because it looks really good for the money. You know, it's rotomolded construction, 12 foot and change, 35 inches wide, 400-pound capacity. It's got that tri-hole design that we've seen on a lot of sit-on-top fishing kayaks these days. You know, having that buoyancy out on the edge makes it very, very stable. Really unique flair to it. So we'll be curious to see how it handles. Unfortunately, we won't have any rough water today. It's pretty flat, but we will definitely see how it turns and check the stability and all the good stuff. The drive looks pretty sweet. It's got a little prop index you push down to make sure you're propped straight before you lift it up. This little guy drops down, locks everything in place. It's a chain driven system, so it feels pretty smooth. Actually feels smoother than some of the other drives that I've seen that are similar to this. So kind of excited to try that out on the water. It's got a standing platform that is plastic. Similar to what they have on the Three Waters Big Fish. You know, definitely an area where they saved themselves some cost. But I do like how all the metal spots where the seat attaches to, they're all molded into the boat. Over here you have your steering system, left and right. Works the Beaver tail rudder back there. You know, I'll be honest with you, this thing feels pretty darn flimsy. This whole setup feels a little bit light duty for a pedal drive, but we'll test it out and see how it works. Behind the seat, you got a couple of flush mounts. You got rod stagers that go up into these little rod tip protectors. So pretty feature rich, pretty good looking boat. And same price as that Riot Mako that I reviewed last year. I think it's pretty similar to the Mako 12 and the Passport, but it's a lot better looking. So I'm excited to try it out. And that's always the first test for me on a stand-up stable fishing kayak. Can I just step in right off the dock, or does it feel too tippy? Do I feel like I need to sit right down? This one I was literally able to just step right in. For reference, you guys, I'm 6'2", 210 pounds these days. I've lost a little bit of weight since moving to the mountains. And yeah, easy to stand up in, no sweat at all. So a question you guys always ask when I review a pedal drive, and a question that I rarely get to, is how's it actually paddle? So while I've got the drive up, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little paddle and just see how it does as a kayak. The nice thing about this kayak is it's 12.5 foot long, or 12 foot and change. So it should have pretty decent glide. It's also designed off of a paddling craft platform, which usually means it's going to move through the water easier than, say, a pedal drive, a specific pedal drive. And yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good. The nose feels like it cuts through the water really nice. And considering how fat it is, to still have decent stability is awesome. I can just lean over on this thing. The secondary is unreal. For a 35-inch wide boat, it feels more like a 40-inch wide boat. However they do that, you know, volume on the signs, it just wants to just firm right up. Tons of primary stability. I mean, I can sit all the way over here on the side, feet in the water, no problem at all. All right, enough of paddling. Pick it up and try it out. As I'm really getting on it, I'm noticing water splash up through the drive hole, which is to be expected. Drains right out though, the deck's not getting wet. Some open water. Let's go ahead and deploy the drive, deploy the rudder, just unclip that. The rudder just drops right down in the water. Check the steering, left to go left, right to go right. And it is offset, you guys, so this is actually center, but it makes sense because your seat's right here, so that's all the way right. You want that rudder turned the whole way. And then all the way left, it's basically 90 degrees, turns the other way. So it feels really smooth. But this little blue ball, man, that thing feels a little flimsy to me. Normal instruction on how this drive works, just like most of my reviews, right? But it's pretty simple. It just slides right in there, drop the prop in, and I think this just comes down. All right. I don't know, it's got a bungee there. And then this deal should just flop down. That little latch is definitely a two-handed job. I have to pull back here and then latch with my other hand. But once that thing's flipped in there, it's solid. All right, and we're underway. I like how secure the drive feels. There's no weeble wobbling around. There's no flex in it. You know, some of the other pedal drives I've tested rock back and forth. Even the Feelfree Overdrive, I mean, it works effectively, but there's just a little bit of a rock, and it kind of drives me crazy. This one feels really solid. It's super smooth. The chain-driven pedal drive feels like butter. I mean, you can hear it, but you don't feel the resistance, that's for sure. I mean, you could easily paddle that thing one-handed. Another thing to notice is, like, I got size 12 feet. My heels clear the bottom, but I think if I was wearing big shoes, they might clip down there. So something to be aware of if you're a guy that likes to wear like big, you know, boundary shoes or boots or something like that. You may want to go with a little bit lighter footwear, but like I said, size 12, no rubbing, barefoot anyways. All right, I think it's time to give it a drag race and see how it does under speed. There we go. Man, the thing moves, I'm not gonna lie. Does pretty good considering. Again, a longer boat's always gonna be faster, so the 12 foot by 35 inch wide boat is actually quite a bit faster than some of the 11 footers, some of the smaller, fatter boats that I reviewed. But what I love about it is it's still super easy to stand up in, still super forgiving, really, really stable, you know. As usual, if I wanted to, I could walk up, get up here in the front if I wanted to. Really no concern about flipping this kayak over at all. Last but not least, we've got to give it the old headstand test. Almost went over backwards, but stable, you guys. You get the point. Turn. Thing spins on a dime. Wow, it's impressive. Look at that little back pedal. It even gets it to drift more. This handle, it just doesn't feel like it has a ton of longevity. But again, when I review these kayaks, I gotta do it with the filter of how much is someone spending on this. This isn't a Hobie Outback. This isn't a $3,000 kayak. This is a, well, I think MSRP is 15 something. I see most places online having it for $13.99. This is, you know, the bottom of the barrel, least expensive pedal drives on the market. Is it worth it for what you're getting? So far, I would say it's better than most kayaks that I reviewed in the $2,000 and under range, as far as how it handles, how stable it is, how smooth the drive is. I actually like this better than that Big Fish 108 I reviewed last year. It feels plenty stable, but it just feels so much more lively on the water. Now, if you're a bigger guy, you probably still want the bigger boat. But if you're, you know, 240 or under, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this little thing. The other thing about the steering is it's pretty easy to adjust. It has the two cables that go under here that go to that back rudder. And then it's got two Allen bolts where you can just adjust the tension. So if your rudder doesn't have that full kick like that, it's really easy to adjust off the water. Just giving a little test scenario here, like if I wanted to fish these lily pads, how would I be able to position myself? Boom, hit that cast right there. Sweet. I mean, the boat's plenty maneuverable, especially with that back pedal. It gets kind of control your speed, control your positioning a little more. I really like having reverse. I know if you've watched my pedal drive videos, that's always something that I've felt important. Some people say it's not, but I don't know. I like the control it gives you. It's almost like having an engine brake. You just back pedal, that locks the front end, allows the stern to swing around. Kind of tight, skinny water. I haven't taken it through any weeds, so maybe we should try to find some weeds, purposely get the drive clogged, see how easy it is to take the weeds out. Because when you're using a pedal drive, especially around here where we're at, the Delta, there's a lot of weeds, a lot of vegetation in the water, and it's inevitable that you will get stuff caught in your prop. So purposely just ran it through those weeds back there. Okay, let's see how bad it is after running through those weeds. So we unclip this guy, hit the prop indexer, get it lined up, and this should, in theory, pop right out. Not too bad to get out. I got lots of weeds in here, and I purposely did that, you guys. I mean, I could have avoided the weeds, but it happens. So let's look at how easy it is. The nice thing is you can get it all the way up, out, and really, again, if I had two hands, it'd be easier. But it didn't wrap around the prop. This little guy really creates a nice spot where it's hard to get weeds wrapped up in there. So still lots of weeds there. I'll just clear those guys out. So on the native, they always had a gap and they actually had to come up with a weed guard protector. I think Seastream probably learned from that and kind of made their standard with the old weed guard built in. All right, we'll drop it back down and get it going. So as I'm going through the things on this boat, I'm thinking stability, check, hugely stable. Most anybody, I'd say under 250 pounds, will be able to stand up and move this boat, no problem. The speed on it is really good. The thing covers ground, it's efficient. The maneuverability on it was better than I expected, even at 12.5 foot. You know, the Beaver tail helps this thing swing around really easy. The overall build quality is pretty good. Like I said, I've said it a few times, the steering feels a little cheesy. So far, it's worked totally fine. I haven't feel the cable stretch out, but you know, it does feel a little light duty. So you're gonna kind of want to watch that handle. Maybe the guy from like Next Level Designs, the guy that redid the steering on the natives, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but he has a really sweet like anodized steering mechanism. Maybe you'd have a look at this and come up with something a little bit more burly. That could be an aftermarket option for you guys to upgrade. The seat comfort feels great. The pedal drive feels really good. The pedal drive was the biggest surprise. So it's actually quite a bit smoother and nicer than what I expected. I think it's better than the Big Fish. Dare I say that? I mean, it's a pretty similar drive, but it just feels smoother. I don't know enough about the internals to say what the difference is. Maybe I could get Jim or somebody from Seastream to answer those questions for you guys. I really don't know the ins and outs. I just know how it feels, and it feels pretty good. So final review is it worth it? At $13.99 or even $15.39, I would say absolutely. I think it's head and shoulders better than the Riot that I reviewed. The Hobie I reviewed was really good. I love that Hobie drive system, super smooth. But I feel like if you're an angler, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck with the Seastream. A lot more fishable platform. And the prop style drive. Some of you guys just love that instant reverse prop style drive. So definitely in the market that it's in and the boat it competes with, I think it rises to the top of the stack. I actually look forward to putting this boat head to head with a couple of those others and doing like a budget pedal drive review or a budget pedal drive shootout. It's always fun to be in them right back to back, because you really get a very clear idea of the, you know, the benefits or the drawbacks of each boat. So if you're looking for all the detailed stats, go ahead and just jump in the description. I always leave the stats there for you guys. The rough stats are 12'3", 35 inches wide, 400 pound capacity, overall weight of about 90 pounds. Although I gotta say, it felt lighter moving it around. It didn't feel as heavy as some of the other 90 pounders that I've hefted around. So thank you guys so much for hanging out and going for a pedal with me today. It was fun to check out the new Seastream Angler 120 PD. If you guys have any more questions, do me a favor, leave them in the comment section. Again, as always, I'll leave all the stats, bios, and links right here in the description. So if you want more information, check there. And until next time, this is Dan wishing you happy paddling. We'll see you on the next one.